Hello, have you ever left someone? A dialogue in which you feel as though I am losing my sense of reality and questioning whether can I truly say that? Or am I just saying ito, overanalyzing, you're not by yourself today? We're revealing 5 unexpected approaches. Gaslighters play with your emotions and reveal the sinister psyche underlying their strategies. Gaslighting is not merely it's one of the most delicately employed buzzwords to date. Harmful methods of manipulation out there, and it feeds on misunderstanding. Whether a friend is deceiving you, words from a spouse that cause you to question your feelings, or a colleague compromising your gaslighting, someone with confidence can be quite effective. You are transforming your own thoughts into strange ones. Territory. But the problem is that nobody merits to reside in that mist of overcoming self-doubt and escaping it's not necessary to have a gaslighted grip. Years of therapy or a degree in psychology are required. Begins with comprehending their strategies and being aware of the subtle ways they attempt to take charge of your mind through the you will have the tools at the end of this video. Recognize their deceptions and protect them. Your clarity of thought, stimulated by timeless. Please use stoic wisdom before we start. Tap the notification bell to subscribe. Ensure that you never miss out on additional opportunities. Enhance your ability to control your emotions, so if you're prepared to regain your authority, and let's see via the games. Began revising the narrative, rewriting the story, subtly manipulating you. Forget about a book you've read the cover of. Let me tell you a story that you are now familiar with. Suppose someone enters covertly and starts crying. Pages contain rearranged chapters and scribbles over important sequences. By the time you choose when it resurfaces, it's nearly unrecognizable. However, the thief claims that it has always been, in this manner, a gaslighted rewrite your story without using a pen, but with consistent, calculated manipulation of reality and memory. When deceivers alter history, they don't always make noise or stand out. Shout, "You're mistaken," but they plant tiny hints of doubt in a discussion undoubtedly, they unfold in a reframed manner. "I didn't say that at all," or worse. At first, you're recalling everything incorrectly. These remarks may appear insignificant after nobody can recall everything. Precisely correct, but over time, the constantly rejecting reality erodes your faith in your own recollection. Find yourself doubting what you've seen. Either felt or heard. The gaslighter's last objective. To become this strategy is the gatekeeper of your reality. Functions so well because memory, as psychologists refer to it, as intrinsically fragile. Memory distortion, the propensity of the brain. Fill in any gaps with recommendations, orthal extrinsic factors. A gaslighted prey's onion, this weaving of natural vulnerability. Their account of what happened was so convincing. When you begin to question yourself, if someone has compromised your internal systems, you're going around in circles with your compass. You rely on them to guide your thoughts. Regarding the psychological toll this takes on each individual, the rewritten story undermines your faith. You might start replaying it in your own head, excessively thinking about chats. I wanted to know if you understood it or not. Overreacted. Perhaps you even began, you should express regret for not taking certain actions. To maintain harmony, here's how gaslighting stealthily destroys this sense of self is tangible. Therefore, you defend yourself. The initial step is to ensure your safety. In fact, don't simply record occurrences in your journal, but to record feelings, discussions, choices, and pivotal moments. We keep this record as events unfold over time, becomes your beacon of hope in the haze of manipulation. When uncertainties arise, you'll possess tangible proof to support itself. But self-anchoring isn't just about maintaining documentation, but it's about reconnecting with your intuition. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius taught. He claimed that clarity originates inward. You are in control of your thoughts, not external circumstances. Acknowledge this, and you will. Apply this insight and trust to find strength. Your stomach is where you find clarity, instinctive if something seems strange. Most likely, it's beneficial to surround yourself with others who affirm your inactuality. Wholesome relationships are formed. Respect for one another, where your emotions reside and opinions are recognized, but eliminated. The more you emphasize this, the stronger the foundation of assistance, the less likely gaslighted may be able to draw the rewriting, the rug out from under you. Storytelling is among the most pernicious, a Peter Leiter's arsenal of tools, yet it's not insurmountable. The secret is observation and action, recognizing the subtle early manipulation and clinging to your inner truth serves as a stronghold. No matter how talented they are, nobody has the right to revise your tale as a tool to use empathy, transforming your making empathy a weapon. Sympathy for one of humanity's strengths is empathy. Best advantages of a bridge that connects us and enables us to comprehend and assist one another, yet in the hands of as a gaslighted, your compassion turns into a weapon that directly targets your sense of tranquility. They distort your generosity. I am ready to recognize the finest in others. Suddenly, your compassion leads you into a trap. It feels like a leash that keeps you bound. To a person who controls your feelings, gaslighters are skilled at manipulating others for their own gain. When identifying kind-hearted individuals, they know that you'll doubt your annoyance, that you'll stop before you are confronting them because you want to. Recognize their point of view. So they create scenarios to exploit this weakness. Propensity to shed crocodile tears, victimizing others when you begin to push back. They might even say a word, as though you're so sensitive that I assumed you'd understand me more clearly. With this subtle jab, shifts the focus away from their damaging behaviors and returning to your alleged flaws. This is where things become risky for you. Empathy leads one to justify their actions. Perhaps they're behaving in this manner because they're under stress or didn't intend to. They're just going through a lot, and it devastated me. While being aware of someone else's difficulties, gaslighters take advantage of this charming trait. You conclude that you can completely forgive their behavior, up with their emotional burdens, while they navigate life without burdens, tricking you into believing that it's your obligation to make repairs. To comprehend this strategy, picture yourself as bring someone a bucket of water. At first, it's not heavy, and you don't mind assistance. But what occurs when they continue adding more water buckets after? Bucket while claiming to be powerful. Your arms will soon be strong enough to manage this. Ache, but you continue to hold on, because they have persuaded you that it is your duty. To gaslighters, use your compassion to pile on emotional burdens that are abandoning you. They are exhausted as they proceed without feeling guilty. Even worse, they frequently frame their use deception as a gauge of your. They will express compassion by saying things like, if you truly cared, you would understand. They could use your ideals as a weapon against you. You claim that I assumed you have faith in. It's a psychological slight to forgive. Offhand, they avoid responsibility by causing you to regret not being. Indeed, they are sufficiently sympathetic. Empathy is reciprocal. It's about there should be mutual understanding and support instead of just one. One gives continuously, while the other, how can you get out of this situation? The emotional trap begins with acknowledging that. Being empathetic does not imply supporting Marcus. The foundation of Stoic knowledge is alias. It instructs us to have empathy for others. Tolerance but strictness with oneself does not imply permitting someone to harm you. This indicates comprehension, their hardships without permitting them to cross your boundaries in a useful way. The goal is to implement what is referred to This lack of compassion doesn't show that you care, even if you stop caring, in a manner that safeguards your feelings. For example, if someone's health behavior is harmful, admit their challenges, but make sure they are held responsible for. You can say, "I understand what you're going through during a difficult period, but that doesn't. I apologize for the way you handled me in this manner." Honors both your compassion and your boundaries. Another tactic is to look for trends rather than isolated. There are occasions where gaslighters take advantage of you. The ability to overlook transgressions, but don't let trends fool you. Ask yourself, am I continuously defending the same actions? Consider if your empathy is being given back or just taken advantage of. Lastly, create a trusting group outside the impact of the gaslighted mirrors your experience. Encounters with individuals who appreciate you for who you are rather than what you provide. Reliable allies can assist you in seeing manipulation because it reminds you deserve to be in partnerships where you can. Empathy can be a weapon and is reciprocal. Empathy is a vicious twist on a concept, intrinsically beneficial, but it need not remember to define your relationships. Sincere kindness is never a burden. Its ability to establish limits is a strength. Maintaining your grounding in your truth is crucial. Recover your capacity for empathy as a force for connection rather than control, which isn't simply, it is self-preservation. Knowledge that the thief is undermining the thief of confidence. Your self-belief, self-assurance is the cornerstone of having a sturdy mentality is what keeps you upright. Be steadfast in your choices and have faith in yourself, instincts, and proceed with intention. Knowing this, gaslighters are aware that if they have the ability to undermine your self-esteem, this is how they can take control of you. It's more than just an attack on your self-worth. It's a sophisticated, well-planned theft of the way you believe in yourself is important. The strategy that is used is chilling. Subtlety. It usually begins with apparently innocuous remarks. Are you certain? Maybe you always end up getting so. Initially, emotional over trivial matters. You may dismiss it, yet the overtime, repetition is intentional. Comments aren't limited to specific. At times, they start to focus on you as a suddenly. Your choices change, emotions, and even who you are. Beneath examination, the actual harm occurs when they begin to replace your inner voice. You may come in second. It is assumed that everything will be all right if you speak out. Should you have faith in your abilities during that encounter? Should you use intuition during a dispute? Try something different, thief of confidence. Has completed its task when you're not confident about yourself without their confirmation, or worse, their consent. Why? Why does this strategy work so well? Confidence is more than a sentiment. It's a muscle that gets stronger with practice. Every time you have faith in yourself, when you succeed, you strengthen your capacity to deal with the challenges of life. Gaslighted scare aware of this. Thus, they strive to starve that muscle that makes you reliant on them too. Despite the gradual deterioration, I feel capable. Impact is significant. Consider how this occurs in daily life. Perhaps I am thrilled to be working on a new project. Butte Gaslighted rejects your thoughts with smiling and saying anything like that is a bit ambitious, don't you believe? Or perhaps you are ecstatic about a personal achievement, accomplishment, but they were able to minimize it. Anyone could have done it, it says. That these statements may appear minor, but with time they build up, like water droplets cutting. The ancient Stoics thought that self-assurance comes from not having merits, regardless of what other people think. According to Marcus Aurel, instant hang outside of the discomfort, bothers me, is not due to the item itself, but rather According to your estimation, a gaslighted prospers. This may cause you to question your estimations, evaluates your value and your strengths, so how can you regain your trust? They understand that awareness is the first step. Start observing the trends in compensation. Observe how frequently they inquire your skills or undercut your accomplishments that you can notice once you avoid internalizing it. Remember their perspective. Their words mirror their fears, not your reality. Then regain your self-assurance. Using deliberate activity, begin small. Make decisions without consulting them, even on small matters, and honor those decisions. Self-assurance increases when you demonstrate you can rely on your assurance. It's also important to confirm your instincts. Make a list of your advantages, achievements, abilities and attributes that you are proud of. Read it frequently, particularly when their remarks begin to climb into your mind, and surround yourself with those who encourage and assist you. Individuals who unintentionally view your work. Reduce it, and then establish clear dimities in the event that the gaslighted attempts to you. Point it out and say, I've considered this. I am confident in my decision to choose you. You don't need to give them any more explanation. Being confident isn't about persuading people. It's about having faith. Thieves' self-assurance is one of the most powerful tools used by gaslighters, although, as with all theft, it only works if you give them what is yours. By identifying their strategies and by sticking to your convictions, you can restore and defend your faith in both on your own and when you use their authority. When your confidence falters, use it as a shield or as a gift. Fearlessly, they cause confusion and mayhem. Inciting anarchy command. Confusion over mechanisms isn't simply a manipulation's result. It's frequently the whole approach that gaslighters flourish in. Pandemonium arises because you are kept in the dark, susceptible, reactive, and eventually, the more dependent on their story, the more unsure you feel, the simpler it gets. Wanted them to take over as the alleged logical voice directing you towards choices that further their objectives. This random disarray is not the tactic's focus, rather deliberate. Manipulation by gaslighters. Using half-truths and contradictions too, they have a selective memory, and they sometimes give praise. Your judgment only serves to assign blame. Ruthlessly the next time they twist. Discussions in which you are accused of saying you either didn't or denied things that were obviously. It was stated that this discrepancy wears off over time. You're down, causing you to question your, in my view of the world, the chaos isn't, it is only external, but it deeply roots itself in your psyche, making you re-evaluate your ideas, memories as well as your presume that you're attempting to traverse a labyrinth where the walls it feels like it's shifting all the time. This is comparable to the use of deception by a gaslighter. As a weapon, for instance, they could abruptly shift their position in a significant problem that makes you wonder if you might have misunderstood them, or they might say something else, something offensive, then assert that I never stated. Why are you fabricating things? Destabilizing you is the aim in order to maintain. You're speculating so they can keep the higher hand in hand. This strategy is effective because we are wired to seek clarity, create a pattern and interpret the world when necessary. Someone purposefully interferes with that. The presence of clarity causes cognitive dissonance, a conflict in your mind between what you understand to be accurate and what they maintain is actual. The longer this tension lasts, it is more probable that you will give up your interpretation of reality that supports theirs. The Stoics believed that achieving tranquility could only be achieved. Living required having mental clarity. Marcus Aurelius, on the other hand, wrote, "Show me my error and disprove me. I will gladly adapt as I'm seeking the truth." It never really harmed anyone. This knowledge informs us of the real truth, and stability serve as safeguards, preventing us from being manipulated. Gaslighters aim to deprive you of such information. Reality abandons you to float in their world. Manufactured chaos escaping from this control system begins with keeping a written record while grounding yourself is important, of crucial discussions or occasions. Keep a record of everything you say and do. Have a concrete point of reference. When the gaslighter attempts to misrepresent the truth, these records can act as anchors to keep you grounded, rooted in reality, even when the gaslighted then attempts to remove faith in your instincts. Mayhem ensues. Self-doubt, but your intuition is your most lucid guide to something is often yours. Seems strange. Don't ignore it. Take a moment prior to allowing the gaslighters use a story instead of your own reclamation. Having mental clarity also entails producing. There are areas of peace apart from the bustle. I enjoy spending time with those who respect integrity, and their stability and consistency can balance out the volatility. By gaslighters develop behaviors such as meditation and awareness can also be beneficial. Regaining focus enables you to view through the cacophony and identify. For what it is, manipulation is also. It would be great if you avoided participating in their games with petrol lighters, frequently get more intense. Perplexity when you confront them, introducing fresh disruptive measures, or changing the topic completely instead of becoming entangled in their web-step return and state that this discussion isn't. Now that it's productive, let's revisit it. Later on, this weakens their influence, and it gives you the opportunity to reconnect with yourself. One control mechanism is bewilderment, one of the most confusing types of manipulation, but it becomes unreliable when you put clarity and truth over confusion. Maybe all around you, but your thoughts don't. To replicate it, you must attach yourself to it. In actuality and declining to participate in, with their tactics, you take back control and discover tranquility amid destroy the delusion that you have a choice. The choice illusion. Believe it's all yours. Fault gaslighting frequently takes place in a grey, dark spot where the manipulator slightly distorts reality, making you unaware of it. You doubt your judgment. Touching it with one of their most clever strategies are the appearance of the decision was made to delicately frame the circumstances so that whatever the result, you're left with feeling accountable for all that fails. It's not merely manipulation. It is a form of psychological warfare intended to erode your self-confidence. This method begins with, the gaslighted is giving you choices, but none are actually in. To your advantage, they may suggest that you have a choice, should move forward with your concept, but refrain from come to me in tears if it doesn't work out. If you're comfortable with it, accept the position. Initially, everyone else failed. At first sight, it seems like you have a voice, but the framing guarantees that whatever decision you make is coupled with guilt, uncertainty, etc., or the consequences are designed to make you regret your actions. You have chosen this strategy over time, makes you more susceptible to internalization. If you remain steadfast and things work out, there is no blame. Incorrect, but perhaps they were correct. If you follow the rules, you shouldn't have done that. Their recommendation, and it backfires. Storytelling becomes a "why didn't I trust?" moment. Either way, you find yourself in an awkward situation, cycle of self-criticism that results in you depend on and are exposed to. This gaslighted is here to help you the next time. This strategy works especially well because it appeals to your inherent desire to take accountability for your conduct. Taking responsibility for one's decisions is an indication of mature emotions, but the gaslighted. They use this attribute as a weapon against you, Blur the distinction between responsibility and accusation that causes you to bear obligations that you do not have. To adopt a stoic mindset provides a potent remedy for this. According to Marcus Aurelius, you have control over your thoughts, not external circumstances. Recognize this, and you'll discover resilience. The illusion of choice is used to divert your attention from this reality, causing you to feel that outside factors determine your self-worth. But the truth is that even though you have no influence over the manipulation of others, there are circumstances that you can manage effectively, analyze and respond to them. To break this illusion, begin by changing the way you think about choice. Not every choice is entirely yours to make. Occasionally, the situation or those who are impacted by you suffer equally. Accountability. Consider whether I made this decision aligns with my principles, and did I understand it, or was I forced into it? This simple reflection can help with separation. Real responsibility, away from unjustified blame. Additionally, it's critical to determine the trends in the gaslighters' framing. Do they always put you in situations where fail or experience guilt after realizing? With these trends, you can predict their strategies and decide not to participate. For instance, they say, "Go ahead, but later, don't blame me. Reply with clarity. If I choose this, I will be responsible for the repercussions, but not because you anticipated failure, which changes the power." Making a dynamic statement about your agency is crucial. Taking responsibility for their actions is equally important. It's crucial to establish a support network. Outside the realm of gaslighting, impact mentors, close friends, or even keeping a journal can aid your processing. Decisions that are impartial and free from this is the distorted viewpoint of the manipulator. Outside opinions can confirm the capacity to make wise decisions, even when the gaslighted attempts to discredit them. He is the maestro of the illusion of choice. Gaslighting strokes since it turns your personal sense of accountability into a tool against you. But by acknowledging the strategy for regaining authority over you, can break down your story. True power choice isn't about appeasing people. It's about avoiding responsibility or others. Conforming to your principles and having faith in, that's the kind of freedom you enjoy. The thing that gaslighters fear the most is freedom. It's worth fighting for, and I appreciate your participation. Join us on this exploration of the unexpected, how a gaslighted may control your thoughts. We hope that these revelations have enabled you to identify these strategies, safeguard your identity, and recover. It is clarity in areas where manipulation has occurred. I doubt you can recall the name of the game. The initial step towards leaving it by you should stay grounded and trust your intuition. And developing self-knowledge. You'll not just protect yourself from manipulation, but also make your emotional fortitude. Each time you reclaim your narrative, move one step further to living a life of inner tranquility, sincerity, and balance. It involves gaining the ability to see through the mist of stepping and manipulation, boldly stepping into your own light. Honestly, I appreciate you viewing this. If this resonated with you, remember to like it. More empowering content, subscribe. Information is intended to guide you through overcoming life's obstacles with insight and clarity. Remain vigilant and resilient, and I'll see you in the upcoming video.